Hey everyone, welcome back to Darker Things. I'm Doug Duncan, your host, and guess who's joining me today? Yup, it's my son and co producer Trace. Today, we're delving into the twisted world of one of the most sinister figures to ever walk this earth, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
It's been a hot minute since we talked about a serial killer. We were just tallying up how long it's been since we covered Jeffrey Dahmer, so it's about time we dove into another one.
You know, with serial killers, I'm always fascinated by their backstory. How does someone go from innocent to downright evil? It's like tracing their steps back to figure out what made them snap. And let me tell you, Ramirez's story is a dark one. So, Richard's tale kicks off on February 29, 1960, in El Paso, Texas. He grew up in a rough household with a dad who had a temper hotter than hell itself. His old man was abusive, and poor Richard bore the brunt of it.
Now, Ramirez's pops, Julian, was a real piece of work, violent, angry, and not someone you'd want to cross paths with. The guy was a cop down in Mexico, and that brutality followed him home. To make matters worse, Richard had a rough start even before he was born. His mom, Mercedes, had a tough pregnancy, nearly miscarrying a couple of times. Some folks reckon it was because of the toxic fumes she breathed in at work.
And then there were Richard's own brushes with death as a kid. Imagine, at 2 years old, a damn dresser falls on your head, busting it open. He needed more than 30 stitches to patch that up. And then, when he was 5, knocked unconscious while playing. After that, he started having epileptic seizures like clockwork.
His childhood was a real horror show. He'd even sneak off to sleep in a graveyard just to dodge his old man's wrath. Yeah, you heard me right, a graveyard. And that's where he picked up his first joint. Talk about a creepy hangout spot. Things took a darker turn when his cousin Mike, a Vietnam vet, started showing him some real messed up stuff, gruesome war stories, pics of women he'd raped and killed, the whole 9 yards. Poor Richard was like putty in Mike's hands.
And then, in '73, when Richard was just a teen, he watched in horror as Mike blasted his own wife right in front of him. Mike pulled the insanity card, avoiding prison and leaving Richard scarred for life. That was the tipping point. Richard went from withdrawn to full on disturbed. He was drawn to violence like a moth to a flame. From there, it was a downward spiral. Drugs, crime, you name it.
He even tried to live out his sick fantasies, attacking a woman in a hotel room. Lucky for her, her husband busted in before things got real ugly. Richard should have been locked up then and there, but fate had other plans.
He moved on to more sinister stuff, breaking into homes, assaulting women, you name it. And the dude had a taste for the macabre, reading up on Satanism like it was his damn Bible. But he wasn't just dabbling, he was living it.
By the time he hit Los Angeles, he was a full-blown nightmare. Cocaine, PCP, you name it, he was hooked. And his crimes got nastier. Raping, torturing, murdering, all in a day's work for Richard. So yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg on Richard Ramirez. A real-life monster in every sense of the word. And who knows what twisted tale will unravel next time. As always, I'm Trace reminding you that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
And I'm Doug Duncan. If you found this episode intriguing and haven't already done so, click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our journeys into the dark. Leave us a like and let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, I leave you with this reminder that once you enter the dark, you may never be the same.